Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started with my lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the Akim that do this work in truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video will be edifying and to the point. All right. And I'm entitled this lesson, all right, the snowball effect. All right. And this is, all right, something that me and the brother from camp have been saying, all right, for the past few camps. We've been bringing it up about, basically the snowball effect. All right. And I'm going to get the definition of what that means. Okay. And to get a better understanding. All right. And it says, it describes a process that starts small but builds momentum, becoming significantly larger, faster, or more serious over time. It says, much like a small snowball rolling down a hill and growing, it represents a positive or negative feedback loop where intentional actions cause escalating similar results. Okay. And that's basically what you see a result of, all right, in the Middle East. All right. So let me get this scripture real quick. All right. Because all of these are plagues from Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right. And they're going to continue to get worse. All right. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and 1. It says, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloth of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry. For your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent upon you, and who may, it said, and who, Shalakia, and what is he that may drive them away? May a man drive away a hungry lion in the woods? Or may anyone quench the fire in the stubble when it hath begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? All right. So these things that we see that's happening in the Middle East, all right, they're going to progressively get worse. All right. The Lord is saying that once these actions are taken, all right, once these things start to go, there's no turning back. All right, you're stuck. All right, and there's a saying in Louisiana, all right, that Jake liked to say. He liked to say that once you beef with me, you stuck. All right, and that's basically what Iran is basically saying. All right, you started it. Okay, so you're going to finish basically what you started. All right, you don't just bomb, all right, a place, kill children, all right, kill a leader, and just think that you can just sweep that underneath the rug because you've been the hammer of the earth and that you just think that's what you can do. No, that's not what's going to happen. The Lord is turning these other nations' hearts cold and bold to stand up against, all right, the big bad bully, all right, on the block. All right, they're coming together. All right, and they're going to basically destroy the whore, all right, which is America. All right. So there's this quote, all right, that brother's been saying, and it says, all right, there are decades where nothing happens, and there are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happens. All right. So in these last days, weeks, and months, all right? Decades of events have been happening back to back, all right? And that's the Lord basically speeding up these prophecies. He's also speeding up time, all right? There was an article that also came out this week speaking about the earth spinning more faster, which makes it seem and feel like time is also speeding up, all right? But that's all prophecy. Scriptures say that the Lord is going to speed up the times for the elect's sake, all right? Now, the earth isn't spinning, all right? Just to throw that out there because, Esau likes to, he's a deceiver, all right? And we go based off of what the scriptures say, all right? I just wanted to throw that in there. But it's really just the Lord speeding up time. It's the Lord speeding up time for the elect's sake, all right? So, again, going back into, the Middle East, I believe it was yesterday, all right, news had reported that Trump was going to send an additional 2,100 Marine troops out there to Iran. So he's putting more boots on the ground, all right, out there, all right? And Iran has basically already been said, look, we ready, all right? We're ready for you to come over here, all right? And that interview looked shook, all right? He was shook whenever he came back with that reply saying that, hey, look, we're ready for y'all, all right? So, that goes into the scriptures, all right, where basically these nations are going to come together to, all right, defeat the whore. All right, and I think it was the foreign minister, all right, of Iran. He basically said that America has put itself in a quagmire. All right, and I'm gonna go into that definition of quagmire. Right, bear with me just for a second. All right, and it says, all right, metaphorically refers to a complicated, precarious, or horrendous situation that is difficult to escape, such as legal, financial, or political trap. It implies being stuck in a messy, muddy, or unmanageable situation or circumstance. All right, and that's basically what America has put itself in. All right, because this war, in the few weeks that it's been, you've had nothing but airstrikes, all right, missiles, volleys, all right, back and forth, okay? You had oil prices have been spiking, all right? And you also have the shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz, all right, where they basically said that they're going to cut off, the flow of oil from other countries being able to ship it to America, which they've also hiked up the price of a barrel of oil. I think it's like $109 right now, okay, and it's going to progressively get worse. So these are the snowball effects of things happening, okay, and that's going to lead, all right, to higher hikes in the goods, okay, because of the distribution, all right. It's going to basically affect all forms of transportation, whether it be, air, land, or sea, okay. They're all going to be, hit by this, okay, and it's going to trickle on down, all right, to the companies, and from the companies, it's going to trickle on down to the employees and to the the people who go to the store and buy these things. All right, all people in the chain are going to be hit in some way, shape, or form. All right, and these are just signs of the times that the Lord is visiting the earth. All right, the Lord is visiting the earth, and like they say in the world, all right, basically get ready, all right, to meet your maker. All right, the world is getting ready to meet its maker. All right. And in the process of the world getting ready to meet its maker, we have to make sure that we are, all right, ready to do so. And we do that by, all right, doing what's right, all right, teaching the word, preaching the word, all right, so that we would be acceptable, all right, when his return come, all right, to be a part of that marriage as the scriptures speak about. All right, so we're going to jump down, all right, to 14. All right, it says, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the world. And the Lord said, I come to send fire upon the earth. And what if it already be kindled? All right, so these things are going to intensify. These things are going to get worse. All right, and this is only the beginning. It says, verse 16, it says, like, and as, it's like shalakia, tongue twisted. All right, it says, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backwards, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. All right, the scriptures say how the day of the Lord is going to be like you ran from a, matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Bear with me for a second. This is Amos chapter 5, verse 19. It says, as if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. It says, shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it? So these things, all right, are gonna get worse. All right, referring to that snowball effect. All right. Again, verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plagues, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be mindful of the scourges. So, you know, you have a lot of situations where you have these TikTok, videos where Jake is making fun and light of the situation. All right. And, they're basically, mocking, scoffing at the idea of going to war. And, for this, they're not taking these things serious, man. They're not thinking about that these things are happening in the earth because the Lord is about to judge it. No, they're not asking the Lord for forgiveness in this time. All right. If anything, they're more indulgent in wickedness than ever. All right. They're not looking to try to turn to the Lord. Nah, it's the weekend. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to the bars. They're going to drink themselves away. They're going to party, all right, to escape the reality of what's going on. But pretty soon, all right, the Lord, all right, is going to bring these things home, all right, to their back doors, all right, to their backyards. All right, but we foresee these evils, man, like the scriptures say. You're going to get that. All right. So this is Proverbs chapter 22 and 3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hide himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. And that's what's going to happen to 2/3 of our people. All right, they're just passing on. They're just moving on as if nothing is going on. All right, and they're ultimately going to be punished. All right, for not repenting, man. All right, for not turning back to the Lord, their power. All right, they're going to seek Him in a day where the doors of mercy is going to be closed. All right, and it's going to be too late. All right, and let's get this last scripture. We're going to end it out. I'm going to start from the very top on this one, which we always bring this out. All right. This is 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest parts of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and that's what's going on. People are uproared. All right, people are unhinged. People screaming, losing their mind, man, at the job and, everyday life, just totally crashing out. All right, the straw that breaks the camel back, they're going through that. All right, with every little thing. All right, it says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And every one that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. So the elect, they're going to, believe. All right. They're going to believe unto the end that the Lord is going to be able to save them. All right. And they'll be able to escape, all right, from the judgments that's coming upon the earth. Verse 8, it says, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land, and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. All right. It says, then shall they be in pitiful case, which have abused my ways, and they have cast them away despitefully, shall dwell in torments, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. All right, the bag, all right, everything that this world comes with. All right, they've completely forgot about the Lord. All right, they don't even really have the Lord in their thoughts, man. The scriptures say that they honor me with their words. All right, but basically the actions of them are far from the Lord, man. All right, it says, all right, verse 12, the same must know it after death by pain. All right, so that's how a lot of our people are gonna have to know. All right, the scriptures say and talk about how what that scripture says. It says that when will they understand? When their city shall be destroyed. So yeah, man, that's basically when our people are gonna know and understand, is when everything is destroyed, when all hell is breaking loose. All right, that's when they're gonna want to try to hear and understand the word of the Lord. So I think I pretty much made the point. All right, again, Lord willing, this video was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the Akim that do this work in truth and sincerity. Until the next time I say, Shalom.